Hello and welcome to the Generational Gamer. In this video we're going to be discussing OVONIC. Let's call it that, because I don't have a proper pronunciation. In this, we got two batteries sent to us, both LiPo. We also got some stickers, and of course the guide. Come on, we know how to use lithium batteries now. And then we got two, count them, two lithium hard case batteries with the 4S balancing plug and Dean's. We don't have any Dean's cars, so those are gonna have to be changed to EC5s, but we can certainly try them with adapters. So actually, by the time we test this, we're gonna have two 4S's that can work together. One's slightly modified, the other one's not as modified. And then my son wants to try putting both of these in his Kraton 6S.
Because I put a Max 6 G2 in mine and it can run 8S now, so.
And the motor.
Watch the temperatures.
All right, so let's check out the cells here. And for the first one, we have 3.79, or roughly 3.8, 3.9, yeah, they're all basically the same. So that's good. Good, one good, boom. Let's check out the other. 3.79, 3.79, 3.79, 3.79.
That's good.
All right, so we've got balanced cells. That is something we like. You know, this is actually the first time I've ever seen it actually come in with a little bit of shrink wrap around it to protect it and hold it together.
We've seen that before on the Gen Zeee we had a little while ago.
I didn't have that on mine. All right, but let's just put it in perspective. The Zeee just has stickers.
Yeah.
So if you're at all curious about the size, these Zeee batteries, which are readily available on AliExpress and Amazon, they are, for all intents and purposes, the exact same size. Cool. In addition to that, we got this LiPo bag. And we're gonna give it all a try. So this LiPo bag came with a strap, yeah. And it's fairly sizable. Just for giggles, see how many of these 4S's we can fit in here. Well, you can fit in at least 4. Probably a few more, put them on the sides, because look, we got plenty of space.
You probably could get a couple 6 cells in there too.
Look,
yeah, you
can fit one of these 4S's. You can stack them like this if you want. You've got a lot of options.
You could probably fit like, I don't know.
Now we're gonna get the competitor out of here for a moment. It actually does have the charging section, so you can plug that in directly into the bag. Always like that. Let's try the old zipper here, just make sure everything is what we would expect. I've never actually used this brand before. This was all new. They reached out to me to see if I wanted to cover it, and I said, sure.
From what I understand, they're a fairly new brand.
Cool. I bought the Zeee bag a while back because I needed to be able to transport a lot of batteries in one place. However, this one is a bit bigger. Now, we'll see over time how it fares to movement and dragging it along from place to place.
I think it seems a little bit higher quality. Material seems a little bit better. And it's got the Velcro on the front.
So also, you can see this is kind of glossy, or this is not. It is definitely matte, but who knows if the internal elements, I mean, let's be honest, what's this thing for? It's prevent fire if one of these things blows up. So I don't know if either of them work, to be honest, so we're not going to know, and hopefully I never know. But you can see that it looks like it's a decent quality. It's about the same thickness as this. To be perfectly frank here, this is a little bit thicker than this, as is this RevTech, which is unfortunately no longer made, but you can see they're kind of thick. And then you've got the Spectrum. It's, here, open that up for me.
It's a little tiny.
Yeah, this one's definitely for smaller bags, but you can see how thick it is. It's like there's so many layers in there. Now this one's a beast. Open that one up for me.
This one's designated for 4 cells, that's why it's so...
Or higher, apparently. But it just barely fits a 4-cell. Yeah, see, it's a kind of a tight fit for that, but that overall is pretty nice. Anyway, let's see if any of these Fireproof bags can go in the Fireproof bag. Particularly the standard size ones.
These are our go-to, so we'll put these in there first.
Go ahead, see if that fits in there. Just because this will be for portability of multiple batteries.
Loaded bag.
See how well it fits.
Well, if I didn't have the wire sticking out, it would fit a lot better, but it fits pretty good.
But we can fit these on their side and fit a whole bunch of them. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We've got 4 bags. Let's see how many we can fit.
Well, that's the big bag. That one doesn't count.
That one's not gonna fit, but for example.
Oh, I guess maybe 4.
Well, that's.
But it's still, you can get it in there.
Odd size bags. But
Yeah. So, I mean, the bag seems like it's a little thin, but it seems like it's solid enough.
It seems good. It's because I'm assuming.
I mean, we're used to the ones for individual 2 cells. So
I'm assuming that, like, when they made it, they were thinking that people would stack bags in there. So.
And maybe even that this was just for temporary transport.
Yeah, not for full transport.
Kind of like this one, you know, you just fit a bunch of batteries in there.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give these batteries a full test outside and see what kind of power they give us, and we'll go from there. You want to look at the truck? This is, well, it's a little bit more than a little modified. It's been fortified with an upper brace, a lower brace, and a aluminum wing mount with a 6S wing and a 3D printed.
Yeah, this is 3D printed.
Yeah, the 3D printed brace right here. Yeah, and the hinge pin blocks have been upgraded because I have snapped like 6 chassis on this thing so far. Usually right up here.
Right.
But that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to look at the batteries in the truck.
Battery trays are annoying.
Yeah, well, so one of the other things, because I've gone through so many chassis, I don't have the stock foam on there, so mine's a little bit extended in size. Also, we don't have the stock battery braces in here. I put Defiance RC, see the video here. But yeah, look, it fits perfectly.
And a lot of room to spare, look.
As an added bonus, since the wires come out of the top, there's no slop over here. Let's check it out in the 6S. All right, we're gonna see if one of these fits in, let alone 2.
One fits pretty easy.
Actually, it looks like it's the exact fit for it.
Oh, you can,
Oh, you can adjust that?
yeah. And
Can you take it out?
yeah, look. Pull, press down, pump it out.
Okay, let me see if you can stack 2 of them in there. You're not gonna be able to put them on the sides like you were hoping to.
Oh yeah, it might be a little, oh yeah, 50 inches, 50 millimeters too
In
wide.
fact,
not
it
gonna
looks
fit.
like, yeah, you're not fitting both of those in there.
I'd have to get smaller packs for it to work.
Yeah, but the Kraton 6S is capable of using a 4S pack. Now he's got the upgraded ESC in here, so, well, it's capable of a lot of things now.
It's bare minimums for us. So
He's got a Kraton 4S, I've got a Kraton 4S, we'll run them together so we can test out 2 of these packs simultaneously. Stand by. You're not going to believe this. Suddenly I lost power. I can't imagine why. Also, it's really hot. So what I have to do is very carefully remove this without touching anything. Also, it looks like it melted this stuff together. So I can rebuild this adapter. It's not a big deal because it's just a Traxxas plug and a Dean's connector with wires. But the truth of the matter is I need to swap these off anyway and put my EC5s on there. So the cells seem to be balanced. So I could try to pull this off. I really don't want to bridge these two because I'll get myself a nice little shock. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut off this connector and put it on EC5 because that's how I want to use it anyway. We'll be back. Already? You hit LVC already?
Yeah.
Okay, so my son's truck just low voltage cut off, so I don't entirely know why. We're gonna go check the cells. Alright, he is not using a stock ESC in this. It is the one that came with the 6S. Well, let's check the cells. They're at the low voltage point. Did you charge this one today?
I did.
I mean, 3.7 is where you'd cut it off. It should have been, put it back on for a second. It should be, like what, 15 something as a whole?
Oh, on the other ESC we set it to 3.4
3.4.
volt cutoff. I might have to do that on the CSC too.
Okay. When his battery low voltaged, it was at 3.7. That is a little high for LVC, so we changed it in the speed controller using this thing to 3.4.
I just driving slow.
Both batteries were tried in two different trucks. Now, normally I am also a little skeptical whenever I see a brand that's relatively inexpensive on the internet. These are available currently for $72.19 on Amazon at this very moment. Currently, they also have a 5% discount. The reviews on this have been at a 4.1. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I tend not to try new batteries unless I have a personal recommendation from somebody I know and trust. I've heard of other less expensive competitors from other people, so I've used those, but reviews are very important to me, so I don't want to sugarcoat anything. The batteries operated fine on the runs I've had so far. I don't know how long they will last. I don't know if they will last. The reviews on Amazon seem to state that for the most part they have some long-term functionality. And I seem to get decent amount of power. Now these, even just like the Zeee batteries, which have been recommended to me by friends, if I do a long full speed blast of a run, like I just gun it, my Kraton will low voltage. Unfortunately for me, they're the only trucks I have to do that kind of test on. I mean, I guess I could run in a slash and see. I have to modify the heck out of it in order to be able to get it to support that. I know my son's gearing up to do that, and then maybe something we do in the future, but for right now, the Kratons are the only 4S vehicles we have. You can mitigate that by lowering your low voltage cutoff, which is what we did with my son's. So mine is at 3.4 volts. So if any cell hits 3.4, it's going to low voltage. Now if you just disconnect it or turn it off, turn it right back on again, it'll work just fine. But that's something to be aware of. And I don't know if that's going to happen with other batteries. I haven't had that happen with some of the more expensive batteries I've messed with. But as I've gotten older and my son has largely taken over the hobby, I'm not spending money on expensive batteries anymore. We're not racing. So I think for us, these are fine. If you're racing, you may or may not want these. I don't know. But let's be honest, in races, you tend not to go full speed most of the time. Because if you're on a tight track, you're going to be on your lid pretty quickly. So overall, I think the batteries are fine. Since I'm looking at the Amazon reviews, they're all out of 5. Let me give it a 4 out of 5. I think that's pretty solid. If there's any major revelations, I will come back and state that accordingly. Probably in the comments first, but if another video is necessary, I will certainly do it. Anyway, what do you think of the video? What do you think of my resolutions to the problems I exhibited on this video? And let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. There's a Patreon link somewhere in my descriptions. Have a good one. Bye-bye.